This is your daily market review for Wednesday, June 5th, 2024. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your daily market review for Wednesday, June 5th, 2024. Interesting reaction today to the, economic data, the start of potential war or accelerated war with Ukraine into Russia. All sorts of oscillators going, pinning up, down, all over the place. It's interesting to watch the market action though, because you had some financials, not really leading. You had the markets up. You had some names actually doing really well. And if you had to get stopped out, hey, no shame in that. Survive, live another day. I told folks today in the Discord room, hey, you get stopped out, it's okay. Just define your risk. Always define it. And again, if it's easier to set the stops and just walk away, you got to do what you got to do. But again, new money, new month. This Thursday, we're going into jobs data. We know it's slowing. We know the economy's slowing, but the action in itself, difficult to predict. We've talked about this. Again, will they hold it up? The Fed's cut rates. I think the Canadian rate cut today, for some reason, had a lot to do with potentially the up in the market. We'll see. Because again, I think if the whole world thinks that now we're going into a rate cutting cycle, I'm just, again, curious to see how commodities and certain things kind of play out here, because I think we're seeing like the great, I would say this time as we're speaking between now and the election is going to be very interesting. So, new to the channel, check out the Discord room, link description below. I appreciate all the love, support, generous interest in the channel. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, whether it's on Twitter or the YouTubes. I appreciate it. Notification bell, no doubt. Check out the videos, education videos. They're also on my website, thetradingagent.com. All sorts of fun stuff here. Take a gander, scroll through, let me know what you need, how I can help you. And again, if you need to chat, use the live Zoom chat. Let's figure something out. See how we can chat and get together, see what you need. All right. Instagram, no, just kidding. So what have we talked about, right? Rate cuts, not until the fall. Projected, potentially. How would they get here quicker? Again, I always like to refresh this. Well, you would actually, honestly, again, this is where it gets a little interesting. This June number's getting towards more of a hike now. You would need some dramatic slowing. And again, I think it is coming. You go look at the Atlanta Fed GDP, you look at all the economic data behind the scenes. Yeah, things are slowing. It's just, again, the market doesn't have to follow. The market is pricing in something. So that's where we got to be careful of and be, cognizant of. Again, if you have shorts that are working, cool. If you have longs that are working, cool. Just define your risk, roll up your stops. Be careful. Bitcoin coming into the range highs. Again, we've talked about you've got to get over it and clear it to be strong. Oil chopping around here. We talk about OPEC is trying to finagle their way into holding price up. They don't really have to do too much. The U.S. is freaking undersupplied in the SPR, and that's just going to be a long-term issue. Natural gas, as we talked about, came into resistance, got tired. Again, if the market pulls back heavily, the VIX expands, you're going to get some of this pullback. But as long as it's holding up, again, this is what I've said. If you disappear long term, I think you're going to see higher natural gas prices. Near term, that's where it gets kind of a crapshoot, in my best guess opinion. The dollar, as we've talked about, holding the 28.50 area, holding up pretty well. TLT continued to break out over the 100, 200 day. Again, to me, this is not a sign of bullishness, in my honest opinion. If the TLT is ripping, inflation is coming down quick, the economy's slowing, does this not remind you of 2008, 2009? Rates came down really quickly. Now, again, if you're looking to buy real estate, invest in real estate, you better hit me up. Let's get yourself a plan, because if you're thinking of trying to middle that and find when rates get lower and then act, you're going to have a nice little window potentially if it does what we think it could do. It's just you're going to have to be ready, willing, and able. The VIX, we talked about it gapping up, hitting resistance, backing up. Again, I'm impressed that it got it back down into the 12s below the 20-day. This is the problem. If you wish you were always right, don't we? Right? I wish I was always right. No, so far, not so much, right? This is what it is. VIX holding up. It bottomed first, topped first, chopping around. Tough to tell. SPY, again, I'm impressed. They rallied this sucker right back to the highs. So your question is as good as mine. Near term, is this a trap? Oof. The gap, we need more evidence. We need more evidence to know if this is an island floating reversal, beginning of a breakout, novice gap, trap, professional gap, all sorts of whatever ways you want to describe it. Just keep an eye on it. QQQ, I mean, look at that sucker. I mean, they rallied the shiznit out of it. New all-time highs as well, right? Keep an eye on it. Was watching the IWM. It was down, up, close up. It's still lagging. I mean, it held the range lows. We pointed that out this morning watching the 201s. If you traded it, cool. Not, I understand too. DIA, we've talked about this lagging, but oversold, right? But here's the thing, like there's certain names within the Dow that just aren't acting right, and there's certain names in the market, and that's where it's getting a little confusing, right? If the market was NVIDIA, right, then essentially it is. Now it's up to, higher valuation than Apple. That's why some of these names are lacking, right? It's interesting. Gold, okay, not surprised it rallied a little bit. Chopping here between the 50 and 20 day. Chop, chop. Silver, I honestly thought silver would be up more today. Back up against the 20 day. Don't you think it should be higher? That's my thought. GDX holding a 50 day so far, so good for them. But here's the thing, right? We've talked about the traps up here. Again, I like these metals names when you get some weakness, when the Feds actually go to pivot because they have to. Like things are slowing so fast. GDXJ, I mean, again, these all names are just, pick and choose your spots. AEM, 50 day. AG, for some reason, I forgot I deleted the 50 day by accident in some of my charts. This is hard because look at AG. Like, this is a big name in the space. Doesn't look good, does it? Newmont, same kind of thing. Like, if you zoom out, like Newmont, you would think would be at like 60s, 70s, 80s, but gold at near all-time highs. Something doesn't make sense here. Either one's deep discount or one's deeply overpriced. PAAS has been holding up pretty well. Taiwan Semi, talked about this, like itching to short this one all day on this pop, right? Open, came back, popped back to the close. Again, the volume was high. I mean, you have to take it for a breakout at this point. It's a big gap. That is a big gap. They had some news today. And again, I don't really know how that really drives anything different about them. I still think they have issues. There's a reason why Buffett couldn't sell fast enough. So, again, we'll keep an eye. All the semis got a pop today, right? Micron, back at the highs. AM Dizzle, 100-day, right? And this thing's been lagging. NVIDIA, again, if you sold the calls and you got stopped out, I get it. I mean, I get it. And people are like, oh, you're wrong. It's like, yeah, I know. But do me a favor, right? You go from whatever, up to 10x. I don't mind trying to short a little bit and being wrong. It's part of the game. You're going to, pretend this is a bottom. You'd sit here and go, all right, I think, this might be extreme. It's kind of extreme, right? Now we went from 750 up to 1250 in a straight line almost. 1225. Keep an eye on it. Again, do you have to act? Nope. Just because the market's open doesn't mean you have to shop. So be careful here, right? Check this out. All right, SMCMI, we talked about this. Holding the ranges, chopping around. What are you going to do? What you going to do, huh? You know the levels. Play the extremes. I guess you could watch 100-day. Yeah, 986, watching that area. Intel, again, says they're going to outdo everybody and build better chips. NVIDIA, market doesn't really seem to care. SMH, man, look at that sucker. I got stopped out of some of my Soxes today. And you have to. It just is what it is. Find your risk. Now, how much higher could we go? That's tough. Again, at this point, it's better to just watch and let it run. And if you're bullish, congrats. Again, I'm not going to hate on winning, right? Congratulations. If you're long this and you won, good, cool. If you stopped out and you tried to minimize your loss, name of the beast or nature of the game. Nature of the game, name of the beast, whatever. Adobe, we talked about. Check this out, right? All right, oversold due to bounce. Market's up. Apple, love the short here, gets stopped out. Thought today would be the day. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to get, get that thing out of there. There you go. Thought this would be probably done. Nope. Is what it is. Is what it is. Just watch it now. If you're long, congrats, roll up, stop. If you're short, you stop out. You do what you got to do. The Amazon, we talked about double top, but holding the 100-day. So far, so good. Meta, been eyeing this one a while, but look at today's gap, right? nothing stopping, near term coming up into, say, the 513 area. CRM, gaps down on earnings, gets smoked, bounces, chopping around. The Guggenheim, Goog. Check this out, right? Talked about this chopping around. Now you're back above. Again, if you can get back over 177s and really just go, I don't know why you couldn't make new highs. Again, I'm not bullish or bearish, trying to be neutral, just saying that the probabilities of all these things are potential, right? If you hold the 100-day and you get people's animal instincts, I don't know why you couldn't come right back to the high. But that's the key, is watching tomorrow's action, right? Watching how we play out going into the jobs days. We know the numbers are going to come in softer. We know layoffs are increasing. NDAQ, we talked about this. I like this short, long-term MicroStrategy. Check it out, right? Coming into the 1700 level, worth a watch. Netflix, looked like it was going to Netflix and spill. Hold the 20-day, bullish. Roblox, holding up pretty darn well, right? Pan W, again, I mean, I like it longer term, but not really now. So here you go. 50-day, again, we like this name. I mean, Pelosi's buying. We'll see. Tesla, chop, 100-day. I mean, this is tough for Tesla. I mean, I don't know what the right answer is in this 50-day, 100-day, 50-day. I mean, chop. Just, you got to do what you got to do. I mean, do your best. Be safe. Be thoughtful, right? DKNG, we talked about this one. Gapping down. Nice trade. Oversold near term. Not surprised it's chopping around. Just keep it on it. Airbnb, same kind of thing. Gap down. Hits the 200-day. Chopping around. Costco, this one's been a beast. New highs. Congrats if you're bullish. Starbucks, JSOL's the same thing. Hit the 50-day. Backing off. Oversold. Backing off. Okay. Is it a short term or could it fill the gap? That's a good question. I mean, if you decide to short, just like we talked about, define your risk. It's easy. FedEx. This is a name that, again, this is why I like the DIA. Just Dow looks funny to me. Like, these names should be holding up pretty darn well. Double bottom, chopping. Good luck. I mean, again, you have a reference if you want to trade it. Caterpillar, we talked about this one short. So far, I mean, again, here's another name that should be popping. Holding 320s, keeping on it. Nucor, broke below the 170. New lows, goodbye. X, here you go. 20, 50, 200-day, chopping. That one's tough. VALE, I mean, like, this thing just global growth name. Just pow. Arrow, we talked about the copper stuff, right? Being overbought, pulling back hard, now back at support. Okay, due to bounce. I mean, that's a possibility. I mean, look at this before. It's done bigger things. Just worth an eye. CCJ, again, I don't trust the Goldman upgrade, but it's holding up. You got to give a credit where credit's due. CF Ag names got obliterated. Not obliterated, but I don't know, sold off again. I mean, they're just going nowhere fast, right? Going nowhere fast. Run, we talked about this, liking this long term, held the 20-day near term. Just keeping on it. XLF, right? Financial should be leading up. They really look stuck here at the 50-day. Keeping on it. JPMO, I mean, if Jamie Dimon's not buying back the stock, why are you? Breaks the 20-day. Looking pretty bearish in my opinion. Morgan Stanley, Stanley Morgan chopping around. Bank of America made new highs, right? Come on. Chopping around. Goldman Sachs, talked about this one's not going out of business. So far, so good. Holding the 20-day. Carry, as we talked about, looks like crap. Junior banks today did not act well at all, right? XHB, we like housing shorts. Got to break this 100-day. I like it a lot. So keep an eye on it. Just worth an eye. Solar, we talked about this one. All this stuff. Sold, bounced, chopping around. You've got your references. Cedriton, this thing finally pops a percent or two. Congrats. ENPH, we'll see. Coming into these areas, you could potentially short. I know some folks who shorted first solar day. Congrats. Like, you nailed that. That's why you draw the levels, you set the alarms. Now, is it going to be dumping or is it going to be chopping? That's your guess. HYG, again, corporate debt. You got to be crazy to be buying this stuff. Oil, oversold, bounce. Not surprised, right? UNG, yeah, I don't like the UNG. I like shorting KOLD. I mean, KOLD is just, down 10% today. Solid. Again, just bigger bounces would be easier. XOP, we talked about, has to hold down here. Hitting a gap down to the 100-day, it just doesn't look pretty, y'all. CVE, some of these names. Chop. Valero, chop. At the lows. MPC, right? Chop. At the lows. I mean, again, these names are tough to say. I mean, they've been in a sideways action for a while now. ExxonMobil, Makes new lows off the lows, but holds the 100-day. I mean, that makes it really hard, right? Occidental, this thing's been vacillating, between, the 50s and 60s. Ugh, just leave it alone. EQT. I mean, we like EQT, Flex LNG, long run, but they're just, yeah, I would leave them alone. So, I mean, again, this is why this is hard. If you're looking for certainty in a market that doesn't provide like a game that doesn't provide certainty, then don't play. I mean, it's like going to the craps table and going, well, I just always win, or playing poker and just thinking that you never can lose. Even when you have the nuts, sometimes you lose, and that's part of the game. It's a probability-based game. You're not attached to the outcome. You're attached to your discipline, you're attached to your processes, and you're attached to maintaining your wealth, because you will be wrong. I stress, you will be wrong in trading. I'm wrong today. Guess what? I might be right tomorrow. It's okay, but when I'm right, I manage the risk. When I'm wrong, I manage risk. If you have questions about that, need help, do not hesitate to reach out. I love you guys. Be safe. Talk to you soon.